we get a little spineless and frightened and afraid to say certain things. But the reason was because they don't know how. The ones who figure that it is their duty not to have a song out there that may mention her name.
Welcome to Kings of the Crop. My name is Trey. I will be your host for today. And today we have three-time Calypso monarch Adrian Clarke. Adrian, welcome to the show.
Hey, nice to be here, I should say. Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm sweet as usual. I have little to worry and complain about. Life is good, so I'm enjoying it.
All right, so let's begin at the very beginning. You are an entertainer. You've been that for a very, very long time. What initially inspired you to want to enter the entertainment business?
Oh boy, what didn't? It started with seeing the likes of John King, Gabby, the Baron, Sugar Aloes, um, Juke from Trinidad, you know, seeing these guys on stage and taking it in, sitting in front of the television, just taking it all in. And I remember as a young boy, I said I wanted to enter Teen Talent. My mother said, not you, not you. My sister, who was 3 years or they were older than I am, she entered. She was a regular semifinalist. And she's the one who really pushed me at one point and said, listen, you got to go and do this. You got to go and do this. Um, I was 19 going 20 at the time. So this is 1992. So she called Richard Stout and it all it all started right there. He told me, hey, come on down and let me see what you can do. I went to the audition as it was and he said, okay, yes, you're in, you can enter. Entered, took part September the 6th, 1992. I remember that date very clearly. And I came first, my preliminary. I sang Calypso and R&B.
Remember the name of the songs?
Oh yeah, Calypso Traveling, that was made popular by John King, and When I'm With You by Tony Terry. I remember singing the two of those, and what I kept doing throughout the competition, because I went from there to the semifinals, I sang Calypso again. I kept the same Calypso Traveling because I was doing well. The audience seemed to lap that up. So I did that, and I did a reggae track, Maxi Priest, The Best of Me. And then for the finals, I was scrambling at what to sing. What shall I sing? So it was like, okay, you're not going to drop the calypso. So what are you going to sing with it? So Richard came to me and he said, hey, come on. You're going Caribbean. Keep Caribbean. Do some spooge, man. He said, I send you some songs. You can decide which one you like to do. He said, of Jackie Opel? I said, yeah. He said, you ever heard Higher and Higher? Yeah. He said, well, consider it. Considered it, made some changes to it, and again, ended up winning the competition that year. And from then I went through the hotels, sang in a couple of hotels and stuff. Must be the experience because I had a little day job and stuff at the time too. But all the while you're thinking, when I can get out this job and just be singing.
What was the day job?
I used to work for Hill Milling as a machinist. I used to work there as a youngster. Got into the machines and stuff. Got to learn a couple of things around a factory. So that was a fun thing. And the thing about it, I was doing that. I had no bills. I just used to work because I could work.
Yeah.
My mom, um, she was very called a Bajan Yankee. She lived in the U.S. at the time. So that's how I managed to get into Teen Talent because she didn't live in here.
Right.
Because if she did here, she'd be sending me straight, nope, not you. You are not going in it. She had her reasons, but eventually it was, the fact that she felt proud when they come to perform in New York with the Troubadours. I joined that group the year after in '93, and that's the same year I got into the Calypso arena. I came third to Serenader and the Late Observer. So I was like, boy, this thing seems like something that I really enjoying at the present moment. So I went from Troubadours to Coalition, still traveling. It was always fun. And the thing is, I was like, where can you find a job where you're having fun and still making money? It was paying my bills, helped me to buy a car, helped me to pay my rent at the time, helped me to support my daughter, who I had in 1994. She's a big woman now and singing too. So my thing is entertainment, starting from the teen talent to the hotels and into the Calypso arena. I won't say, should I say it was easy? I don't think it was easy back then. One, you had to sing two songs. In the modern day now, you're singing one. We started in 2019. Doing the two songs, the toughest part for me throughout the years of doing two songs was always semifinals. Semifinals, you are now amongst the what's considered the better part of the festival in the eyes of the judges, and as far as the competition. So for me, that was the tougher part. And you had the Gabbies. John King came out of Barbados in '94. You had John King. You had RPB. And when RPB was in competition, bring your A plus game
Because he's gonna bring
because
his.
Bag will bring his. You know what I mean? You had TC. She was there. I remember when I first came around, there was Lady Anne. It was Marcy. I can't remember if Marcy had stopped by then. I think she probably did. And Margaret Bavell, Miss B, she was also in competition prior to me coming in also. So I always remember these ladies and seeing how tough it looked, in my view, for these ladies competing with the men back then. And then now you have a TC who was coming and just roughing up everybody when it comes to the competition. TC was and still isn't an easy person to compete against. She just brings her A game all the time. So I would say yes, it was kind of tougher back then, to get into the finals. Um, some would say that your um, your history will speak for you because I entered in '93, and then I was still competing all in 2005, 6, 7, 8, 10, 9 and 10, and you would say, okay, well, the things that precede you will probably make it a little easier for you to get through. So to start calling you shareholders and all this sort of thing. No, I got left out already. I got left out the year after I defended. I got left out in 2003. That was a fun year. I got left out in 2022. So my thing is, I know what it's like to feel a little deflated and defeated, by not getting to the finals because it was expected by John Public. Oh, once Adrian there, he's a shareholder, he can get through. But nah, it doesn't always work that way. You're singing two songs, you gotta come in and bring your A game, competing against these quote unquote shareholders as we like to call them. From 2019 onward, I think it was made a whole lot easier. Anybody could win the crown right now. Anybody. The person you least expect to win it can win it. Anybody can win. And when I say anybody, I mean anyone. And it just comes down to bringing that one song that will capture the attention of John Public and the judges. The judges are human too. Despite they are the ones who are given the role of deciding on your melody, your lyrics, your rendition, your presentation, etc. They're human. And I've judged competitions before, and I always have to try to shut out at times that crowd because, again, you're human. It can, some way or the other, help to sway a couple of points here or there, because you can question yourself and say, am I hearing the same thing they're hearing because of the reaction? But, common sense will show that people bring their posse too. Posses will follow you around. So, for example, when Bag is performing, St. Philip was always there. Gabby, St. Michael coming up, and you would always know that there will always be that reaction from the crowd, but Bag didn't win every year. You had that crowd. Gabby had his crowd, but they didn't win every year. There were times where they got beaten into second or lower. And that's because judges, in my opinion, were able to shut out that was going on. But back to the modern day side of competition. I could be wrong, but I doubt I am. I sang about Frondel in 2011. Frondel ain't saying that in a song called We Need an Answer, right? I spoke to him before I put the song up. He said you don't have a problem with it. He heard it, he said it's fine, right? Whether he was or not, he told me he was fine. So yeah, I can ring it in. Um, I sang about Mia Motley before she was prime minister. I sang about Owen Arthur. Um, I didn't in time to sing about Sandy, but I sang about the leaders we had back then. I don't think I ever had anything to sing about David Thompson, but I had no problem singing about a politician. My thing is be tidy about it. We got um, certain laws in Barbados, defamation laws, get to know them. So my thing is write with some creativity. Don't just be too blunt. I can be blunt, but you gotta let common sense reign. And don't look to say things that you don't have 100% proof of. And even if you do, understand that their pockets may be a little deeper than yours, and they will drag you through the court with a defamation lawsuit. And most of the time, they're suing you. They can sue the paper, they can sue the television, they can sue the radio stations, etc. We've seen that happen, right? And the ramifications that result from such. Um, so my thing is, I think yes, we as Calypso, a lot of us are quite spineless lately. I'm frightened for what reason I don't know, but maybe they are looking at the fact of something I said earlier that we only want to hear doom and gloom. I don't believe in just opposing just for the sake of opposing. I don't believe in just singing about someone just because, right? If I think there's just reason, I will do it. But people who know me from songs I've sung before, I could sing about my peers and sing about anybody. But I can be a little classy about it and tidy. Yeah, it gotta be tactful. You can't be nasty about it. Um, I heard a song from Colin Spencer, stating such. So you know how Colin sings, right? You know how Colin goes, and I must admit that we love Colin songs, right? We always think that it is the persons that we are singing about, especially when it comes to, for example, let me use Prime Minister Motley. There's no one I know around in the political arena who is more culturally charged than she is. She's very much into the festivals, the arts. She's managed bands, that sort of stuff. She's managed artists already. So she is very much into this thing, right? She knows what it's about. But the people that get offended might be the people around her, more so than she, right? I always say, and as I say, it can be quite blunt. Your lackeys are always the ones who will always come and take out the fire rage and do such. Me Molly ain't at no radio station and she ain't at no television station. Half the time she probably ain't even hear the songs yet because she busy doing government's business or she outside flying to wherever to do whatever. But it's the ones who figure that it is their duty not to have a song out there that may mention her name. There might be ones who figure the same thing when Arthur was around. Frondel, same thing. Because I know for a fact when I sang in 2011, there were some of Frondel's lackeys, as I would call them, right? No apologies there at all, who didn't want me sing that song, right? They didn't even want me perform at the opening gala. You know that for a fact. Because I sang that song. But the thing is, at the opening gala, I wasn't singing that song. I sang Spooge, right? So that's something that happens. So yeah, a lot of us get, and I say us because I am a calypsonian too. I was there thinking, "Why, finally, I've done it," because I was in the competition from '93, and to finally win it, I mean, I was almost to tears. I don't know if anybody saw my eyes that glazed over there, but I was ready to cry. And but you got man up, no crying, So 2001 was a really sweet year, and the thing about it is that I won with the song "This Melody," which I self-penned, and that song has a little story to it because I remember going to John King. It was like February that same year, 2001, and I said, "John, I got this idea, this melody ringing in my ears all the time." So he said, "What's good?" So I was at Plantations talking to Johnny morning, and I started to sing the melody to him. He said, "Man, go and write a soca love song. Think Baron and Aloes, right? Who are two guys I always looked up to." And I went home, sat down, and I couldn't get anything right. I couldn't find nothing to go with this melody that would be along the party vein. So I got in my car and I drove to town. I remember parking opposite Starcom there by the market. And while walking down by the bus terminal, I went down to Fording as Melwani's and came back up just thinking. And when I got by the bus terminal, there were some vendors there, and I remember one asked another one, what do you what do you think about the music this year? And they were talking about Trinidad Carnival. And this guy said, "Oh, you mean you see the soca?" She said, "Soca?" He said, "Soca? Young people killing soca. All this na 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 na, they're killing soca. Soca dead, they're killing it." I looked at the man and mouth, "Thank you." So he probably wondered, what is this young boy here telling me? And I just mouthed, "Thank you." I went home and I wrote that song top to bottom. I remember sending it to Vera Brown, and Vera was like, "Were you waiting on getting the studio recorded?" I said, "But I just finished writing it." And I just scribbled it down on paper and sent it to Vera. And the rest was history. Chris Harper did the horns, and Chris Allman, he did the rhythm side of it. And two of them combined to produce this melody. So I felt great in 2001. 2008. Now that was another fun year. Two songs again you had to sing. David Weatherhead wrote I'm a Bajan. And I sat down and I wrote Put Down Your Song. Put Down Your Song came about after going through a number of other topics. Songs were written and they just ain't happening. I remember singing in the tent and it's just ain't happening. So I remember I sat down and I wrote the ideas I had for Put That in Your Song. And this is from listening to things that were being said, not sung, but were being said by Calypsonians who were in the competition. And I was like, serious? Then for real? Then the idea hit me. Yeah. And I started writing. Sent it to David Weatherhead, and he was like, you only got 7 minutes though. And what you have here is about two songs in one. So look at Praise, seeing what you have, and we go from there. And that's just what I did, cut it down. And then went to Tony Warren after when it came around to competition side of it. And again, the rest became history. And the thing about Put That in Your Song is that I was able to perform that song with the sort of venom that someone would put over their feelings. And that's basically what I was doing. I put on my feelings about these Calypsonians and telling them, "Oh, when you're talking this and that, put that in your song. Put this in your song too." You know? Um, Still friends with all of them. Nothing serious, so to speak. So 2008 was that sort of feeling. And that felt great. That felt really, really great. And what was going through my mind when I won? I was thinking of I was thinking of the informer who used to be in Conqueror's tent with me. I always remember he said, "Man, you can win this thing a couple of times, man, Hoghead. You can win this thing a couple of times." And that was the couple, 2008. And that felt great. That felt really, really good. Um, so one who was always in my corner was Vera Brown. But at the time he couldn't because he was then the CEO at the NCF. He was then the I would say the stand-in CEO, so to speak, if that's the term I should use. So
Interim, maybe.
yeah, interim CEO. Thanks. So he couldn't be in my corner. He couldn't have a word as far as me in the competition. So I was there smiling inside, I said, I wonder what's going through Vera's head right now, you know. Um, and then in 2024, I was like, okay, this is like a little retribution sort of thing here now. You know,
And that's retribution in terms of the disappointment in 2023.
yeah, 23. Um, the years which I would have hoped that the results would have been in my favor. 23 was a definite one. But you're up against Ian Webster. Ian Webster is phenomenal when it comes to the art form and performing. He's extremely focused. I'm not like Ian. I'm not as focused as Ian by any stretch of the imagination. I just get up one morning and decide, okay, yeah, I can write a song, but am I going to sing it probably a couple days before the judging and get through, get to the finals, and come second. But that's what happened in 2023. I sang about 4 times that year. Last year I sang 3. I sang one night in the tent, judging night, and finals, and I won. So that's something that I'm capable of doing. But last year, even though that's why I was extremely busy because I was dealing with the Cricket World Cup and stuff, and I wrote my song late, very late. So it was like, yeah. But I kept telling people I'm going to win. At cricket, people say, yeah, what are you doing out here? You should be getting ready for your tanks, man. What are you doing out here? But they're working. But I can win. Don't worry. I will win the competition. Serious? You're going for crown or, I won't say what else to say, but the thing is, I won. You know, it's happening this year again. I don't have my song out as yet. It's written. I don't have it out as yet. But it's an idea that I had since 2018. And I never sung it. But it is very timely. I think now is the right time to sing it. And I will defend with that song. And what I can tell John Public is that it will not be no bashy song. I ain't going in calling people names, and if you pull my tail, are you ready to bite back and stuff? Sort of songs I've done in the past. It won't be none of those. It will not be a put down your song sort of structured calypso. Think this melody. Think along that vein. And my belief is that people will like it. My belief is that I will do very good in competition with it. And yeah, I looking forward to this year. This year would actually be a big opportunity for me to try to do what I have never done. Webster has done it. Kate Site has done it. Bag has done it. So I want my name to get called along that vein to bring back to back. You know, Gabby has done it, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think Gabby's done it. I got to think of which year if he did. But the thing is to having multiple crowns and be able to do it back to back. No one has beaten Kate Sykes' record as yet. He won 3 in a row. You know, so if I am fortunate to win this year, to go out there and beat the likes of who we expect to see in the finals, yeah, to go after what Kate Site has done will be a good feat. I always thought Webster would be that one to do it. Um, to win 3 or 4 in a row because Ian is just I'm a huge Ian Webster fan when it comes to the competition. Even though I compete against him, because I believe in if you're good, you're good. Ian is great in my opinion, and I look forward to competing against Ian. So losing to Ian in 2023 didn't feel as bad, especially knowing that I wasn't competing that year either. So it didn't feel as bad because I lost to Ian. It's like losing to Bay. It's like losing to Gabby. So I rate Ian Webster up there. You understand? That's me. So yeah, 24 was super. I was standing on the bottom of the steps trying to will him on, when he had his mishap. But unfortunately, what happened. And I can be like, I can be like a vulture when I have to be. I can prey on it when I need to. So the opportunity was there for me to prey on what existed, and I ain't gonna let it slip. I was like, sorry, but I going after this year even more now. So yeah, the whole thing is have fun. When they get to the point where you're getting headaches from it, get for running.
That then leads to, I guess, probably my last question. What keeps you going? You mentioned it this year. You thought you would have been in and out. More than 20 years afterwards.
Oh gosh, that's my son is 24, so that's 24. That's 24 years down the road. That was 2001. Um, I think John Public, I think the public has a lot to do with it. They do have a lot to do with it. Um, Bajans are relentless if they like you. If they're a fan, so to speak, they can be quite relentless. And to hear people coming after you saying, "We looking forward to hearing you this year." So I was getting that in 23. I wasn't competing, but I'm not the type of person who's gonna have a media press conference and say I'm competing. So who's he? Who's Adrian Clarke? You're competing next. That's the way I viewed it. So I won't do such. I didn't go me announce that I wasn't competing. Just won't see me. And all the years I wasn't competing, I did well. 2010, I wasn't competing. I came second to Gabby. Um, Again in 23, I wasn't competing, and I came second to Ian Webster. There was another year too that I wasn't competing that I did, but actually last year, last year I won, and I didn't sure about competing because I say I was busy with World Cup cricket, very busy, and I was like, boy, this competition ain't gonna happen this year, you know. But when you hear the people coming after you and you can do this, man, you can win this year, they robbed you last year, bitch, they robbed you last year, man, you gotta come back for this year. Yeah, man, I can come back, man. I can win it this year. And yeah, the people there, they keep at you. Even though every year I say I don't think I do it. I say it every year. I said it last year. I've been saying it this year too. It was I say I can defend, but I don't know because I really don't feel as motivated as say back in like the early 2000s. I think after 2009, especially, is where I felt a lot. I would say demotivated as far as the competition competition goes. I was like, I really think I need to be doing this, And people close to me say, yeah, man, you can take a break, take a break. But every time I think about it, you might hear some songs on the radio. You drive down the road or walking around, somebody tell you something that adds to it. Again, that's happened this year. I've been saying I know what I'm going to sing in 25 because my song will be timely for what's going on right now. It will be very timely, but it didn't finish. I didn't even finish in 2018 when I had it. But when you hear what people are saying, um, it's like you really need to finish this song, finalize it, make it a little more to what's happening right now, and get this song out there. I was in the studio with a fellow tent mate yesterday with a song that I helped him with, melody wise, etc. And after hearing how his song was going, I was like, yeah, boy, definitely got to get my song going. You know, you might realize that I don't do much party anymore. Don't do sing much party songs. Not that I don't want to, but the drive don't always be there. I got ideas. I got a whole bag of ideas, so to speak. And I will write a couple. I'm not sure if I will get them recorded in time and get them out this season because as my daughter and stuff here to call me, lastminute.com. But it works for me. And I think if a song is good enough, no matter when it comes out, you can play it. And the thing is, I don't just think about songs playing for the season. There's always outside the season. Um, yeah, I might say, well, I don't depend on entertainment any longer. It's not my only source of income. Maybe that's part of it too. But the thing about it is that I got other reasons, and I will do my best to see if I can get back into the groove, so to speak, as far as the party music. Sometimes I was like, do I want to be part of this? Do I? Nah, I'm doing next year. But I got a feeling I will do at least two party songs this year. I will have my social commentary recorded and out, so listen out, you hear it, and gotta get it out there. So yeah, I motivation by mainly the John public is one of the reasons why I will find myself competing. I will say every year, I don't know. I don't know because that's just how I feel. That's honest truth. Every year, I feel as though I really ain't doing it.